Welcome to SSPTV Community News. I'm Lisa Sugart. Today we are back at Good Shepherd Church in Drums with the Reverend Connell McHugh, Pastor Emeritus here at the church. We know, Father McHugh, you always talk to us for the holidays. You have such great insight on everything. We know you for your sports. Kenny Cara has interviewed you over the years, that you know so much of sports, but I didn't know that you are a poet, and you have been for quite some time, and now has a book out on poetry entitled Kaleidoscope of the Heart. Father McHugh, thanks so much for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Hold up the book so everyone can see what it looks like. This is the beautiful book. How many poems inside?
There's 145.
Wow.
It's a 180-page book. It was a pretty good-sized book. At first, it was kind of going to be a small little book of maybe two books, actually, of maybe 70 or 80 pages, and then we got working on it, and we went with a better book. It's put together well and designed well.
Let's start at the beginning. How long have you been writing poetry?
I would say I really began in my late teen years. And I started to get into it a lot during my seminary years. When I went to Pius X Seminary in Dalton, I started doing pretty much right there, but I think the better poems started to be written. I went to Our Lady of Angels outside of Albany, and there was a lot of good academics there, and a lot of, in the area, a lot of things to write about. I worked as a deacon and as a seminarian in Albany, South Side, which was a ghetto, but there's a lot of material to draw on there. And there's a wonderful priest by the name of Father Peter Young, who gave his whole life for the poor, and people are, petitioning that he be made a saint, which he more than deserves. But he gave me an awful lot to write about too, just working with him. So there's a lot of things. And then, the experiences I had after that, serving in the different parishes, it helped a lot. I started in Scranton for a couple of years, and then mostly this area. I was at West Hazelton, taught at Bishop Hafey for 10 years, and St. Francis, and then I was pastor of Whitehaven. There's a lot of experiences over there too. I was chaplain of the Whitehaven Center, the Catholic chaplain. That was an interesting place. And then I returned here to the area, and John Bosco and Good Shepherd.
So this is kind of your life told in poetry.
That's basically what it is. It's my life experiences and told in poetry. And I take in a lot of different subjects, right from childhood. And there's some poems about my parents. There's a lot about sports. I was really involved when I was a younger priest in promoting sports. I sponsored a lot of basketball teams, both boys and girls. Back in the 70s and 80s, I did a lot of that. And I have a big background in Christology. I have poems about Christ in there. And a lot of poems on spirituality and search for meaning. I have a lot on that. And I was always interested in music, like folk music, rock and roll, rhythm and blues, and all that. So there's a lot about singers and music from the 50s through the 80s in the book too. I have reflections on individual people and groups and types of music. I have quite a bit on that too. And then like search for meaning and personal relationships, observations of people. So kind of wide variety and things.
Were you always planning to put it in a book, or did this happen to?
I was thinking about it. I did actually publish a small book in 1972 when I was ordained. It was called New Visions. It was only about 45 pages and, had a much smaller group. A few of the better ones from that book are actually included in this book. But I did do that in 1972, and I thought after I put all these poems together, I might do it. How we really got started was at my 50th anniversary party. I had mementos laid out, and one of the parishioners, Judy Whitaker, she saw the book from 1972, and she asked me she'd like to see all the poems that I wrote. So I gave it to her, and she really the one that was had the initiative to get people together and go over the poems, and she was the one who really wanted to have a book to commemorate all the different poems.
I'm pleased now to be joined by two ladies who are members of Good Shepherd Church. They are also members of the book committee who helped Father McHugh with the poetry book, and they are, to my right, Ann Amaris, and also Aggie Platania. They are both here to tell us what they did. Ann, let's start with you. How did you help out Father with the book?
We were the initial people that helped to choose the poems, and we organized them by category. And I just want to say that it was a very rewarding experience.
I'm sure it wasn't easy to go through all of them and to decide which ones go in and which ones don't.
Not at all. There were over 200 poems, and we narrowed it down to, I believe, 145.
Wow. Aggie, why did you want to help with this? Why was this important to you?
Well, first of all, because Father, he's just a wonderful priest, and his love for everything. The poems were about his mother, father. They made you happy, they could make you cry, and it was just something so wonderful, and I'm just happy to be of help to this committee.
And lastly, where can people buy the book and how much is it?
The book is usually around $20. It's up to the parishes if they want to make a couple dollars on it to charge more, or if people want to charge less. Right now it's in several of the parishes. It's in, of course, Good Shepherd. That was the first place I sold it, at the festival. I sold quite a bit at the festival. It's also at your parish, John Bosco. St. Jude's, I had a signing at St. Gabriel's that went very well. This Annunciation, I should say, went very well. Holy Rosary, too, the books moved pretty good. So they're the main parishes in St. Jude's. They're the ones that they're at now. I'm kind of looking for a store to carry the book. That would be a help.
All right, and if someone wants to help you out with that, they can contact you here at Good Shepherd.
Yeah, they could call Good Shepherd and they put me in touch with me, yeah, if anybody's interested in that. I'm not mailing the books yet. We may put it on Amazon yet. We're undecided on that. There's one person that was very helpful. I should have mentioned them, John and Karen Rizzo. They were very helpful too. And they're pretty well skilled in Amazon and eBay selling and all that, so we may do that too.